and had some pretty common questions that I wanted to address with you. One of the most common questions that I get is, how much money do I need to have to really run this business the right way? Hey, what's going on, Amazon business owners and very soon to be Amazon business owners? Bob Schneck checking in with you from the war room today. We've been strategizing about 2020, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for the new year. Holidays are just about over, but guess what? Now is the time to start planning and preparing for 2020 holiday season. Now's the time to get started. And I got a chance to teach a lot of classes this week, live classes, and had some pretty common questions that I wanted to address with you. One of the most common questions that I get is, how much money do I need to have to really run this business the right way? And I'm just going to tell you, the answer is in the question: to run the business the right way. This is a business. This is not a hobby. Okay, if you're looking for a hobby, I'm telling you, this is probably not what you're looking for. So I'm going to tell you straight up, in business, the more money you have, the better you're going to be. And I know that's not really the question that people are asking me, because everybody always wants to know what the minimum amount is they can get started with. So let's just kind of talk about that, and then we'll scale up. So I'm going to tell you that the very bare minimum you should probably have in order to run your business inventory wise is about $500 at a minimum. And here's the reason why. Most authorized suppliers are going to have what are called MOQ or MOA. And that stands for minimum order quantity or minimum order amount, meaning in order for them to do business with you, they require a bare minimum, and that's about $500. I don't really know many authorized suppliers that are going to work with you for less than $500. It's just not worth their time. So at a bare minimum, $500 for inventory, okay? Now with that, we can probably go out and work together and find you one supplier that's probably going to give you about one product. Okay, that's what $500 is going to give you. Now, there's some issues there, and that's not to say you can't start that way, but when you have one supplier and one product, you're sort of putting all your eggs in one basket, right? And you're just counting on that one thing to take off and work. And if something happens, Amazon jumps on the listing for a bit of time, or all sorts of different things could take place. You might get a little frustrated. So I'm going to tell you, probably more realistically, is you're going to want to have a couple of $1,000s available for inventory. Okay. Now, with that, we can go out there and probably find 2 or 3 really good suppliers and probably get you 4 or 5 really good products. So now not all your eggs are in one basket. You're not counting on just one thing to carry you through. You got the concept of multiple streams of income. You understand the reason why, right? The more streams of income you have, the more stable your life becomes, because if one happens to take a dive, the other ones will take care of you. So I'm going to tell you, realistically, you probably ought to have a couple of $1,000s, right? Now, ideally, probably $10,000 to $15,000, right? $10,000 to $15,000 is probably a really good place to get started. It's a way to start making some really good money pretty quickly. Now, I do have students that actually come aboard literally with $50,000, $75,000, $100,000. Now, somebody asked me, well, why would somebody do that? Well, if you've watched any of my other videos or my webinar, you'll know that I'm a big believer that your new bank account should be the inventory that you're selling on Amazon. Right? Because if you've got money sitting in the bank right now, like my mentor, Warren Buffett, says, get it out, okay? Because the worst place you can keep your money is in the bank. What are you earning? 1%, maybe if you're lucky. Inflation's 2-3%. So every day you let it sit there, you're losing money. So I would say, let's get that money out of the bank and let's get it into some inventory that's going to give you a 20 or 30 or 40% return, right? And now that's annually, right? But I'm going to show you some different steps and some systems that are going to allow you to shorten that. So what if all of a sudden you're making 20 or 30% once a quarter? See, that's realistic. And that's what this is really all about. So when somebody's coming in with, 50 or 75 or $100,000, it's because they're only getting, 8, 10, 12% where it's sitting right now. And they want to get that money working for them. Why? Because with the wealthy don't work for their money. What do the wealthy do? They make their money work for them. So that's very common to have people come in with that. Now, where do people come up with that kind of money? Well, let's think about it for a second. IRA, 401k, so your retirement accounts, because the average retirement account right now gets what, 5 to 8% if you're lucky, right? Or they're taking money out of their portfolios, right? Their stock portfolios, which are probably getting 10 to 12% if they're lucky, right? And a lot of people are actually getting home equity lines of credit, HELOCs, or they're taking a loan out against the equity in their home. Now, I know some people are going, oh my gosh, why would you ever do that? Take money? Because think about it. National average right now is home appreciation is about 3%. So, the consumer is taught, let's go out there and let's buy a house and let's pay it off. But that's a consumer mentality. That's not a business owner or an investor mentality, right? In other words, if your money is only making you 3% sitting in the equity of your home, then that's a good idea to pull it out and put it somewhere that's going to get you a greater form of equity. Now, I want to talk about other ways of using OPM as well, other people's money. And one of my favorite forms of OPM are credit cards. Now, I know when I say that, people are going to start to curse my name, right? Credit cards are evil. Why? Because we're all taught, from all the gurus out there, the Susie Ormans and the Dave Ramseys, that debt is bad. Well, I want you to look around you. Most businesses are not built on cash, they're built on debt. So it's a question of understanding what is good debt versus bad debt. And if you'd like to talk more about that, I've got an entire series of videos that will talk about that, how to acquire good debt, and how to use debt to build your business. Now, with that said, again, thank you so much for checking in.